Hey guys, what's going on? It's Orlando here. I know it's been a couple days since I've last posted on the MLB predictions. So today what we're going to talk about is the National League odds. They did finish their games not too long ago, yesterday. So I'm here to describe the pros and cons on going into the postseason, who I think might be the big favorite. I'm not going to get too deep into the stats. I'm just going to tell you guys what I think. We'll get into the stats when we start playing games. I'll get deeper into that in the next couple of videos. If you guys are new here, hit the like and subscribe. Welcome to the OP23 Sports Network. I am Orlando. Let's jump into the World Series 2021 predictions, playoffs. So let's get into it. So as you guys know, yesterday, the postseason, it is finally aboard. We have our teams. I'm not going to jump into the AL today. We're going to talk about the NL, National League. So, with the Giants, number one, they had the most wins in MLB this year with 107. They did very well, played very good to the end. That's why they're number one. Number two is the Milwaukee Brewers. By far, probably third best team in my opinion in the NL. They have 95 wins. They didn't do too bad. They went 4-6 in their last 10 games, so hopefully that doesn't play into this postseason. Third is the Atlanta Braves. Their record is somewhat impressive. Their division is not as tough, in my opinion. They had 88 wins and 73 losses, so they are three. Number four is the Los Angeles Dodgers. They or the Giants could have been number one. The Dodgers had 106 wins. Right behind the Giants, it came down to the last game, and the Giants just got the win, and LA is number four. Number five, the St. Louis Cardinals, the next best in the wild card. The next team that was closest to them was the Phillies with 82 wins. After that, it was the Padres with 79, then the Reds with 83. So St. Louis just came off on a roll. They had like a 17-game win streak, and they just continue to stay hot. So hopefully that carries them into the postseason with this wildcard matchup against LA. So we'll see how that goes. So let's jump into teams, team by team. So first, the San Francisco Giants, the pros, best record in baseball. The second one, number one seed. If they continue to win, they'll have the home field advantage. They had the most home runs and extra base hits in the NL. They were second in total hits in the NL behind the Dodgers. They were second in total runs in the NL. As a team batting average, they had 249, fourth in the NL. In the five teams, I think they were second. They had the second best ERA, 3.24. That's the second best out of the five teams. Remember, I'm going by the five teams. I'm not going by the whole NL league. So out of these five teams that are in it, I'm going to talk about these five teams only, who I think is the best, going into the postseason. They had the fewest home runs in the NL, which is going to be crucial. The fewer home runs you allow, the better your chances are. The fewest walks during the season. Believe it or not, pitching is going to be a big factor. If you allow a few home runs and a few walks, you are going to win. You are going to get outs. That's what you need. You need outs to win ball games. They had the fourth best fielding percentage in the five teams that were number three. So remember, the pros are going to be very crucial going into the postseason, knowing that you guys had a good season to prepare for the postseason. The cons, pitcher rotation is up in the air. Not only with Johnny Cueto, they are relievers, but the pitching rotation is kind of concerning. Just because they have not had, not saying they haven't had the best pitching rotation, they have the most wins, but the relievers are the strongest suits. So if their bullpen, like I said right here, they need rest. They need that rest. If they don't get that rest, the pitching is going to be a little difficult. Remember, teams can play up to 3 games. They can play up to 5 to 7. Teams mostly can play up to 20 games. That is around it if you keep winning. So pitching is going to be really crucial. The pitching needs to be really good. They need at least go the distance, like 6 innings, 7 innings, if they can. If pitchers start going out in the third or second inning, that's where it's going to be crucial for the bullpen. Brandon Belt injury is still a concern. Brandon Belt, he's always been a good player. He's a big left-handed hitter for the Giants. They could use him. I think, in my opinion, he would be a good asset to have if he comes back. Situational hitting needs to improve in the postseason. I'll talk about this more when we get into all the teams. So, second, Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee pros, they have the best pitching rotation in baseball. They have the best pitching besides the Giants, who are allowing less walks. And, I think their pitching is going to be very crucial. They're going to play the Braves the first round. They need to stop that hitting power for their hitters to try and get on board, which we'll talk about in a minute. They have the third best ERA, which is behind LA and San Francisco. So the rotation is good. LA's is good as well, but the Brewers do have a good ERA. It's very good. They allow a few runs. They know how to pitch. They know how to pitch around the zone and get outs. They have the second fewest amounts of hits in the NL. So it means when going to the postseason, they're trying to allow less hits as possible, trying to get fewer people on base, which is the best thing that they got. They have the most Ks in the NL, which is really good. So their strikeout ratio is very high, which is very good, which is what they need. Experience is coming along. They got Christian Yelich, Lorenzo Cain. We can talk about more pitchers into this, but you need experience to win, in my opinion, just because it comes a long way. If it's your first go-around, you do get the nerves. You do get jittery unless you're Juan Soto, who comes in as a rookie and just starts dominating out of nowhere. But experience does come a long way, in my opinion. That's just how I see it. I think a lot of teams do have experience. I think the Brewers can make it to the NLCS. Maybe they can make it to the World Series too. I just think that we'll talk about the cons in a minute, but they are healthy and coming back all together by the postseason. They are all really good. Willie Adames is there. He was off that World Series team with the Rays. He did very well, even though they did lose against the Dodgers. So everyone's coming back for them, which is very good, which is what they need. Injuries are a big concern for every team that I'm going to talk about. It's always a big concern. Cons, hitting needs to get better in the postseason. Their hitting is not the best. I'll give them that. They won a lot of games, but their hitting was not a big part. I think their pitching was the biggest part by keeping those teams to few runs. They have the fewest amounts of hits in the NL, so they need to figure out something to get going. Either they start getting hot right now, or they just find a way to win, which is what they need. They have the fewest amount of extra base hits in the NL. Extra base hits are doubles, triples, home runs. Those are trying to extend the lead for the Brewers. They need more of those in the postseason to hopefully scratch more runs and hopefully get pressure into the bullpens for other teams. As a team, they have the lowest batting average, 234. I get it, as a team, it is hard, but 1 through 9, they are a little concerning right now just with their batting average. So they need to get that up to win in this postseason, especially going against the Braves. We'll talk about them in a minute. They have the most errors in the NL out of the 5 teams in the playoffs. Errors are crucial. You cannot make errors in this postseason. You have to be perfect. It's crazy, but it's true. The less errors you have, the more situational hitting you have, the better you can win games. So you got to have less errors. Third, the Atlanta Braves. Pros, they are third in most runs in the NL. I think they're second right now, right behind the Dodgers. The Dodgers, I think. Third in hits out of the 5 teams in the playoffs, which is really good. They can hit the ball. I think they are really good with Freddie Freeman up there, hopefully leading the charge. So the Braves are going to be good. We'll just keep talking about it in a minute. They're second in the extra base hits in the postseason. That is very good, in my opinion. You have to have extra base hits to win. They need it. I think they will do well. We'll just see how it goes when they first play the Brewers. The next one is that they're second in home runs in the NL. Very good, very crucial. You do need that. You need home runs. You need home runs to win. So that's very good. They're second in RBIs in the NL, which is very good. You need runs to win. So that's what they need to play very well against this Brewers pitching. They're third in allowing walks. Pitching-wise, that's very good. That means they're second right now in all of the 5 teams. So that's really good. They have the best voting percentage in the whole 5 teams. You need the best fielding percentage. That means you're confident going into the postseason. Cons, fourth best pitching staff in the postseason. Out of the 5 teams, they are the fourth best team, which is okay, but they gotta hopefully get better. If they don't get better, that's gonna be crucial for them. They allow the most home runs in this postseason. So their pitching allowed the most home runs in the regular season. So they need to figure that out. I just with pitching, it's gonna be a concern anyway. So yeah, I just hope that they figure that out with pitching. Pitching around the zone would very help them out a lot. I meant to say Acuna with an A, but I don't know why it's spelled out like that. That was my fault. I think it was an error. Acuna is out, so the Braves need to figure it out without him. They need to figure out how to get this hitting going without him. I know they've done it half of the season to play, but they need to figure that out right now. So the LA Dodgers, right here, the pros. Experience. They have a ton of experience. They've been to the World Series playoffs for the past 4 years, 5 years. They added Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. Big plus for them. So I think Dodgers can have a great scheme coming into this postseason. They have the most stolen bases. You need stolen bases to win. You need to steal. Hopefully catch every team off guard. That's very good. Second in batting average, just behind the San Francisco Giants. They're the most RBIs team in the NL. They just know how to score runs. You can score runs, you can win anything, even with great pitching. Third most home runs in the NL, so that's very good. You need home runs to win. They have a great lineup, top to bottom, 1 through 9. I think they have one of the best ones in MLB. They have the second most hits in the NL in all of this postseason, so you need hits to win. They have the most runs in the NL. Pitching rotation looks deep, looks really good with Max Scherzer and Walker Buehler. And the bullpen is really good, in my opinion. They need to stay up there, stay like that during the whole rotation. Hopefully keep them going longer. ERA 3.01, best in the NL. Right behind them is the Giants and the Brewers. It just shows pitching is a crucial thing. LA has one of the best pitching staffs too. Them, the Brewers, maybe the Rays have the best pitching staff in this postseason. The second best batting average right behind the Giants. Very good. Lineup is good. Like I said, 1 through 9, you got to be very consistent with Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, Mac Muncy, if he's still up and going. Trey Turner, so having a good lineup is good. Hopefully they can start shredding some of these pitchers. They do play their first wild card game against the St. Louis Cardinals. So it's going to be a good game to watch. So we'll see from there. Cons. They have the second most Ks in their lineup, so they strike out a lot. So if they can limit those strikeouts, I think they can do well. That's what's going to be a factor if they either hit well or they strike out a lot. So the next is the errors, second most out of these 5 teams in the postseason, heading into the postseason. You can't have a lot of errors. They got to make those fundamentals easy. Throwing, catching, fielding ground balls. They need to do a lot of that before going into the postseason. Good pitching staffs have handled their offensive power really well. The Giants, the Padres, and the Brewers, they have beat the Dodgers fairly well with good pitching staffs. If you pitch well against them around the zone, make them chase, you will have a good day against the Dodgers. The closer situation is questionable with Jensen. He has been closing and he has not, and he needs to figure that out. I get it. He's a fastball guy, but you got to change that up, man. Like, you really got to change that up and hopefully do something different, Injuries can be a factor. Just like I said, with pitchers, not using a lot of material to get good grip on the ball, a lot of injuries can happen with every team. So I'll talk about that in a minute. St. Louis Cardinals, right here, pros. They are getting hot. They got hot at the right time. So hopefully they keep that going into the wild card when they play the Dodgers. They went 20-6 in September. That's really good. Give it or not, that's really, really good. Wild card is going to be interesting to watch with the Dodgers. I think They will put up a good fight. I think they could win, or the Dodgers could win. I don't know, so we'll see. They're the least K lineup out of the 5 teams, which is really good. They don't strike out a lot. They either at least put the ball in play or they try and get on base. The closer looks good if they have a good lead. So if the Cardinals have like a 3 point lead, maybe 4, they will more than likely win the game. They're third out of the 5 teams in allowing hits for pitching. They're very good. You have to limit the hits to hopefully get your offense to keep going. Fewest home runs allowed. That's awesome. You need that. Out of the 5 teams, they have the fewest home runs allowed in pitching. They have the third best fielding percentage, which is what you need to be successful on the field to limit errors. There are 30 errors. Like I said, you have to limit those errors. You have to play well to win. Cons. I got a lot of cons for them. They are last in runs, RBIs, last in ERA, last in earned runs. So hitting these, I think the hitting has gotten better with Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. I think it will get better, but I just think that with this wild card, it's going to be really crucial. I think whoever scores first will win, which is more than likely the suit coming from behind is good, but in the wild card, there's great pitching. Great pitching. It's a 1-game deal. It's going to be Adam Wainwright against Max Scherzer. I think that's what's going to happen. So, most walks out of the 5 teams. You cannot walk people. You cannot walk people. It's crucial. The more people that get on base, the more it's going to be scary when pitching to a different hitter. Remember, it's better to not have people on base. The K ratio is low. Not a lot of strikeouts from this pitching staff. I expect a lot of ground outs and a lot of pop flies, so they need to do that. They need a lot of ground balls if they're not a strikeout team. They must limit errors, and the situational hitting must come into play with a chance to win. So I'm talking about when there's a run on third, 1 out, and the infield's in, you got to be able to get that run in. Because runs are going to be crucial. Every run's going to be hard. It's going to be. So they need to get that. Not a lot of offensive power from the beginning, so expect some bunts and some situational hitting. Bunts are going to be good, especially if the pitchers are going to hit. Expect pitchers to bunt. Hopefully the first and 2 batters are table setters. They get on base with the 3 and 4. Hopefully push them across the board. Fourth and putouts of the team need to limit more runs. So they need to have those putouts like in double plays and pop flies. Hopefully trying to get the runner out home. They need to get more of those putouts in this postseason. All right, guys. So that is my pros and cons about the teams. So the wild card does start for the Cardinals and Dodgers this Wednesday on the 6th. It is in LA. It starts at 8:10 on TBS. So remember that. I'll jump into the wild card game right after this video. I'll post a video, so if you guys want to look at that, it will be a big help. And if you guys do like these types of videos, hit the like and subscribe. Hit the comments down below and tell me what you guys think. I know the pros and cons are not the best, but this is what I think. This is what they could limit going into the postseason. So I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.